finish line. Finish line. Get to moving, finish line. Cross that finish line. I'm a monster, I'm rude and black. Give me diamond watch, give me platinum plaque. I'm a goon or something, I make do with that. Ain't here to small talk, don't need the chat. Know that I was made in the lab. The scientist screaming, oh my god. Give him swagger up, Tone Beach bar. Let him hit the streets, let them die. What it mean to be great when you at halftime? When you're 20 years old, never had a touchdown. When you lose a control, all your brother's been gone. You confused, you alone, never earned you a dime.
I got the goal, I think I'm gonna win. Race in the morning, damn.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the JustSayN Podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Payton Jackson Jr. Also, I'm waiting on my lovely co-host, Lotus time in soon. Like I said, this is the second episode of the JustSayN Podcast. Of course, you know, I'm still doing the Walking This Ways as well. With the Walking This Way, be back this coming Saturday at 11 a.m. So y'all make sure y'all tune in for that. But most importantly, man, I want to thank everybody for continue rocking with us, supporting with us, and most importantly, thank everybody for being excited about the new podcast of JustSayN. Here we're gonna have a lot of conversations, ranging from politics, you name it. We want to hit every area of things because I believe that it's all about being better. I believe that we should strive for to be better. I believe that we should strive for excellence. And when I look at losses, I don't look at loss as a loss. I look at it as a learning experience, a learning tool to help us to get better. But no further ado, I just want to welcome a very special guest. She's on straight into the platform. She's new on this platform, but I know she was on the Walking This Way platform numerous times. I consider her a very extraordinary young person, a young woman. Just things that you're doing, I consider you a phenomenon. You're not just being local here in the state of Texas, but you're being known all around the world. And just the amazing support that you're getting from everyone, from every walks of life, from every different background, from every nationality, believing what you stand for, believing what you represent, and just really backing you 1,000%. And I applaud you. I really do because I respect individuals very, very consistent. And Peyton, I know you're very, very consistent in what you do, your beliefs, what you stand for. And it is time for a change. It's been time for a change for a very, very long time. We do need new blood in this office. We do need new interact that usefulness, that game changer, that one that's going to change the atmosphere, that one that's going to really put a stamp on making a lasting impact. So no further ado, I want to welcome Payton Jackson. Of course, y'all know she's running for U.S. Congress District 33 here in the state of Texas for the year 2026. Payton, I know you're doing a lot of things. You're making a lot of appearances. You're doing a lot of interviews, a lot of speaking engagements out there in that field, day in, day out. Blood, sweat, and tears, right? But the most important thing is seeing the outcome come in. So other than how are you, how you been? What's been going on with you? Like I said, I know you've been I don't want to say the word busy, but you've been very, very productive. So how everything been going with you?
I am blessed and highly favored. But yes, I don't know if busy is a bad word, but I have been very, very productive this year. It's been a very life-changing year for me, due to my speeches. But all glory to God. All glory to God. I am just living life day by day.
And and that's important. You know what I'm saying? That's the main thing that you're doing, the main thing that you're doing. Like I said, you've been very consistent.
Mhm.
This is something you're not new to. This is something that you've been doing for a good minute now. So you're not a rookie. You're considered a veteran in this thing. And just what keeps you going? What's the excitement? What keeps you kind of a lot of time individuals I guess the individual get burnt out if it's not their purpose, but I know you feel that this is your purpose. And I know you don't look at this as work. You're looking at this as your purpose. So what keeps you going? What keeps you rejuvenated? What keeps you on that path of greatness?
Short answer, God. Long answer, I have my days. where I don't want to get out of bed. I have my days when the comments do get to me, when the messages and the hate mail do get to me. But like you just said, it's not a job. It's I truly feel like I'm walking in my purpose. A lot of people don't agree with my stances, but I'm not here for approval. I'm not here to be liked. I'm not here to appease people or pander. That's not me. You will never see that from me. I won't sell out for money, for approval, or for a vote. I say what I believe, and you don't necessarily have to agree. But yeah, the long answer is God. He keeps me going. He pulls me out of bed because this is not for me. It's not for just my community. It's not just for District 33. It's not just for America. I believe that I'm walking in God's purpose.
And that's it. And you mentioned that, you have individuals who don't agree,
Mhm.
but I realized they didn't agree with Christ. They didn't agree with Jesus Christ, and he was
Amen.
not in the business of pleasing people. He was he's all about his father's business. And people have to fail to realize that when you're standing for righteousness, and I know that you are a righteous individual,
I try to be.
you gon' I don't want to say try, you are. Because I don't like to say word try. There goes Lord right there. She just timed in. I don't like to say the word try. But
Mhm.
you are, in my personal experience with you, of course.
Thank you.
You gonna be persecuted. Jesus said himself, you gonna be persecuted. Welcome, Lo. Well, thank you for
Hey,
chiming
baby.
in. Your mic is
I can't
muted.
hear you. Technology.
Yeah, your mic is muted. Mike. Yeah, we can see you, but we can't hear you. Hold on.
That's technology.
Yeah, I know, right? What you see? Let me see. Let me let her know. Yeah, your mic is muted. Let me see. Let me let her know. Hold on. Before I do that, we're gonna do a quick commercial break, and then I just let her know. We're gonna do a quick commercial break right quick.
Perfect.
Runaway train, gotta get back on track. Back on track. I'm feeling myself, feet sliding back. Sliding back. The journey is hard, not gonna lie about that. Lie about that. But it ain't been worth it really and off the tracks. Not going back. Not going back. No, no. Not going back. Not going back. No. Not going back. Not going back. I'm not going back. Don't give it up now, too far in the game. Came too far through tornado rain. Through forces of man, blew up in flame. All one day, lock up and chain. Lane that tried to wash me away. I had to pray these dark eyes away. Faster from drama to getting up faith. Every day gotta stay in that faith. Told myself, encouraged myself, I'm gonna come out one day, I'ma win. If we keep going and never give in. Try my best, keep God within. The journey not easy, test after test. Misses a message, stress after stress. Stay in prayer, keep passing these tests. Keep on winning these blessings on blessings. 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 Blessings on lessons. Blessings on blessings. Blessings on lessons. Blessings on blessings. Blessings on blessings. Runaway train, gotta get back on track. Back on track. I'm feeling myself, feet sliding back. Sliding back. The journey is hard, not gonna lie about that. Lie about that. But it ain't been worth it really and off the tracks. Not going back. Not going back. No, no. Not going back. Not going back. No. Not going back. Not going back. I'm not going back. Spirit man willing, but they fled be slipping. I was drowning in back on track. I'm feeling myself, feet sliding back. Your journey is hard, not gonna lie about that. But it ain't even worth it, reeling off the track. Not going back. No, no. Not going back. No. Not going back. I'm not going back. Yeah. Okay.
Just a second.
Okay, well, we back, ladies and gentlemen. Technical difficulties, of course, but once again, thank you everybody for tuning in. We thank everybody for timing in. Most importantly, before that, we was talking about persecution. I know you mentioned that you have individuals don't agree with your stands for. That's happened. That's common because biblically wise, Jesus said the same thing. You're gonna be persecuted for righteousness' sake. Matter of fact, Jesus was persecuted. He was being accused, what I'm saying? They try to trap him in the lie, he got called a Beelzebub. So that's part of this journey. And not only that, Payton, he mentioned that if everybody speaks very highly of you, I mean that's when we need to check ourselves. Because everybody is not gonna agree with you stuff, but it keeps you going. You know what I'm saying? Some people we're in a position now, and you see it all the time. We're in this world, in this generation, where everybody wants to be liked. Everybody wants to go viral. Everybody wants to be popular. But what about standing for righteousness? What about putting it in perspective? And I know you have a lot of things, but like I said, I applaud you. I really do applaud you for keep going and staying rooted and grounded and motivated. And you don't look for people to come along, but you keep doing it because I do believe when you're on your purpose and you're on a path that God wants you to be on, He'll send the people your way that's gonna push you to the next level.
I agree. I definitely agree. And if I could sum up my year thus far, that would be it. I've been, and you've seen my progress over the years.
Mm-hmm.
I have been speaking politically for years. And it was 2025, really April 2025 of this year, where people really started to pay attention to me. It's not because I sold out any of my values. I was more vocal with what I was feeling about being a conservative. And it's hard to do in the Black community in general, but it's extremely hard to do when you're running in Democrat districts. I've felt that way for years, but I didn't say anything because I knew every single district that I lived in, whether it was city council or congressional, it was a Democrat district. But something told me to speak up this year, and I don't regret anything. That was possibly the best thing I could have done was speak my mind politically.
And that's what it's supposed to be. And I got to see also, I got a question for you in the comment section. Big shout out to Mrs. Jones. She's in the Fort Worth area. She said, Payton, tell us more about you. That's a statement, I guess a question. Okay. She said, I see you in social media and other headlines and newspapers and on the news. But who is Payton? That's the first question. So, but who is Payton?
Peyton is an accountant. Her background is in finance, real estate. And I see the bottom part of the question. Yes, I am an author. Now, Miss Jackson is a different person. Miss Jackson is very well spoken, outspoken, and unapologetic. In regards to the news, if you Google me, it's a hit or miss. 50% is good, 50% is bad. I'll just claim the hashtag fake news, especially if it's Star Telegram. But if you really want to know me, I suggest that you reach out and ask me a political question or get to know me a little bit better. Or you can read that book. That book is a memoir from or up into the age of I think 25. I published it in 2020. That's a decent insight to me. But I'm very easygoing. I'm very friendly until I'm not, and that's when Miss Jackson appears. But in regards to the news, I mean, it's a hit or miss.
I mean, hey, that's what that sums it up like that. And on this one we got is what would you like to change within your realm of reach and reference to the policies or political views?
It's a pretty vague question. I'll say what's number one or two on my list. Number one is taxes. I absolutely despise of taxes in general, especially property taxes and income taxes. I have no say so in property taxes because that's a local state issue. So I'll leave that to Abbott and our local officials. But what I would like to see on a federal level is eliminating income tax from the ground up.
Awesome stuff. And also we got what's something new that we could look forward to from you? Thank you, Peyton.
Something new. Something new. Well, in the next couple of months, I'll be having a fundraiser in Grand Prairie. Um, in November, the paperwork opens up to officially do the paperwork for Congress. So that's that. And then the primaries are in March. That's what's on my to-do list as far as what's coming up at the close of the year and the beginning of next year.
And awesome. So okay, now we got Lokes. Can we hear you?
I'm
All right.
back.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
Perfect. Yes.
And awesome sauce. So we just taking some questions to speed you up on everything. Lo, we were just taking questions from the audience. Mrs. Jones was asking Paige some questions in the comment section. So we just got finished wrapping it up. But then she said what she said. She said, "Go on, Mrs. Jackson. I love this." So she said she loves this. So big shout out to Mrs. Jones in Fort Worth. Thank you, Mrs. Jones, for continuing supporting on both platforms,
Thank
the
you.
Walking His Ways and the Just Saying. So thank you for that. So we do have Low time in. Low, how are you doing on this great Thursday morning?
Well, considering this, considering the technical issues I'm having today, I'm not going to let that ruin my day because I feel like this was a very important. You are very important to me, Miss Jackson. What you are doing is very important. So I feel so bad that I feel so bad that
Wow.
I'm having the issues that I'm having because I'm rooting for you, sis. I'm rooting for you. Okay. So yes, you have what it takes. Your background, you have what it takes. So I'm rooting for you. And I was like, oh man, this is not good. But you know what? It is good because I came right where I needed to come. And I do not question God. I'm gonna continue to move it forward with my brother FJ right here and my sister right here, Miss Payton Jackson. Okay. I'm gonna call you
Thank you, baby.
because this
Thank you.
hospitality.
And I
And
just want to
also,
say I am proud of the both of y'all, and I can't wait to see how you guys progress. Don't let the technical issues interfere with your day. Like you said, you don't question God, and I stopped questioning Him a long time ago. Don't let that stop you. I am so proud of y'all.
man,
You.
awesome
Thank
stuff.
you.
We do appreciate it. Also, we got another question, not a question, but a comment from Mrs. Jones. Miss Jones says, thanks, Pay. Come see us at the Colorful World of Cancer event, September 20th, 2025. Would love to have you there.
Can you send me the information? If you go to my website, there's a page that says contact us or contact me or something like that. If you click on that, it'll open up an email chain. If you can send me the information, I would love to come.
Man, awesome stuff. So, Mrs. Jones, make sure you do that as well. It's all about networking, right? So it's all about networking and connecting people, man. I love it. Also, before we get off into our conversation, just catching up on everything. Cause we gotta acknowledge the ones who are supporting us, and we gotta acknowledge them. You know what I'm saying? Because
Of course.
we're the reason why they're here. So,
Right.
Paige say, okay. So Miss Jones says, Payton Jackson, what's the name of your book?
The name of my book is called Intimidating Black. It's on Amazon, but if you can send me an email with your address, I'll send you a copy because on Amazon it's marked up. So it's a lot of information in that book. So yeah, just send me your address.
And awesome. So Miss Jones better do that and stuff like that. So to catch you up on everything, Lo, we know, Payton was, introducing herself, giving her
Mhm.
background and stuff. And I know she mentioned that she, has a background in accounting. And let's talk about that. You mentioned your background in accounting,
Mhm.
and you off into the political race.
Yes.
So how
Which is what? Go ahead, let the viewers know. Which is what? You probably already said it, but
The race.
yes.
Oh,
Say
okay.
it again, sister.
So,
You're
for
running.
those who don't know, I will be your next Congress representative for U.S. House District 33. I will be unseating Mark VC. But as of yesterday, we just got a new map approved by the House. So, right now, we're waiting on the Senate. I don't know if they're in session yet today, but we're looking to have the new map signed into law by tomorrow by the governor. So I am super excited. What a lot of people don't understand is in the news, there's a lot of misinformation going on about the map change and everything. For one, they have victimized Jasmine Crockett for whatever reason. A lot of the headlines will tell you that she lost her seat. Nobody has officially lost their seat, but a lot of our incumbents have been drawn out of their maps. I see no problem with that because if you know the federal law, not the state law, but the federal law, you do not have to live in the district to represent the district. Meaning, Jasmine Crockett could run in a district in Houston, she can run in Austin, she can run in El Paso, she can run in Fort Worth, she can run for whatever seat that she wants. Any of these incumbents can run for whatever district they want. So I don't like the headlines. Yes, it's funny. She got kicked out of the district, but it's the misinformation is not doing justice to the ignorance of the community. A lot of people don't know the state law. The state law says that you have to live within a district. You don't. You can be homeless.
I think they put like little snippets.
I am. Because I
Snippets
keep
via
posting
online that show
Yeah.
certain things for us to kind of, oh, they're for the people, or you know, they let's go ahead and give them a little taste, but they don't tell
Right.
them the complete truth. So what you're
Right.
saying is definitely correct. You don't know what's real and what isn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I think a lot of people, the majority of the community, we go with headlines versus actually reading whatever article that you're reading, making sure that article is credible, and then doing separate independent research outside of that. Because a lot of these local news outlets, they're corrupt, just as corrupt as the politicians.
Yeah.
But when we don't have all of the information, and when we continuously victimize politicians, it's not doing the community justice. Instead of Democrats in Texas fleeing the state, all they had to do was go and knock on new doors. I mean, that's what I did. I didn't have money to just up and take a vacation unannounced. I mean, I didn't get a chance to fly to Chicago and, off taxpayer dollars. All you had to do was go and knock on the doors.
I was just about to ask you about actually later on in the interview, I was going to ask you about the gerrymandering. I was going to ask you how you felt about that. Yeah.
I mean, we can dive into it now, or we can do it later. I'll leave that up to you guys because it may be a bit of a rant.
Well, we can talk about this all day because there's a lot to talk about. And I feel like it's so much information that a lot of people's constituents, civilians, they don't know. And if you don't know or actively research yourself, you will never know. You
Absolutely.
will just go by what your mama said or what your friend said or what your coworker said. So yeah.
Yes. I
So we will
absolutely
say that for when you become,
agree.
yes, ma'am.
Congresswoman,
Yes,
Congress Rep
ma'am.
Jackson. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. We will say that for that.
And awesome stuff. But also we got Mrs. Jones. Well, I'm gonna see. Well, you want to read out one? This is from Mrs. Jones. You want to read out one?
So Mrs. Jones says federal law trumps all of TJAT, poor choice of word, but okay, ignorance for this situation is presented. However, I would use lack of knowledge. However, we need to read in order to be acknowledged.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I agree. It is ignorance there, but the state could do a lot better. Yes, the media could do better as well. But when you look at the application to run for office and the qualifications to run for a seat like Congress, like the House, it says that you have to live in the district. And that's not true. I didn't know that you didn't have to live in a district until about a year ago when I was working on someone else's campaign.
Yeah.
So if we know that federal law trumps state law, trumps, why not?
No pun intended.
No pun intended. If we know that it trumps state law, why not take that qualification down? It just is misleading, if you ask me.
Yes. You know what's so funny? Because I realized when at one point I ran for sheriff, and you had to live within the county.
Yeah,
Okay, so most definitely, it is definitely a difference. And I was one of those persons that felt like on a national level, my vote did not matter
mm,
because the electoral college did what they wanted to do.
mm-hmm.
Because like literally I could vote for somebody who, as far as I feel like, share my ideas, but they can vote for whoever they want to. So
Right.
I'm just like, well, then where I need to start is the local part of it. So,
Absolutely.
the information you're giving me is actually very good information because I actually did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
I did
Well,
not know.
like I said, the state is kind of misleading people as well. It's not common knowledge that you don't have to live in the district when you run for a house, but in local seats you do. Like I just wrapped up a race with city council. You absolutely have to live within that city district, or at least in Fort Worth. I believe every single city or county has different rules in regards to their elections. But yeah, I mean, the state, they definitely mislead people when it comes to the qualifications, and each state is different. Like I was looking at the qualifications in Louisiana because somebody, I'm not going to name the person, but somebody may be running in a federal seat out there that I'm connected to, and their requirements are a lot different. Like for independents, you can't buy your way onto the ballot in the state of Texas. And I think that that does a disservice to people who's trying to break away from the Democrat Party, but they're not really embracing their conservatism, or they just don't like the Republicans. And they should reserve the right to buy their way onto the ballot in comparison to getting the 500 signatures that's required, because a lot of these candidates or politicians, they'll take these petitions out to events, and I think that does a disservice. I think every single candidate and politician should be required to knock on the doors in their area, their district, because you learn a lot. And when I decided to do that for my petitions, I was able to learn a lot about what is needed in each city, in each zip code, in each neighborhood. And without actually knocking on doors, I wouldn't have gained that knowledge, because the original map for the previous map for District 33, it touched West Dallas all the way into East South Fort Worth. So it's very hard to do when you're considering what's needed for these neighborhoods. People in Fort Worth don't necessarily face the same things as people in Dallas, and that's one of the reasons why I was so excited for the map change, because now it excludes all of Tarrant County. So now it's just only in Dallas County, and that's exactly what District 33 needed.
Can I give you an experience that I had when I ran for sheriff? This is how I knew that, and I'm not bashing anybody for who is, who decides to become a Democrat, but this is what taught me differently, because I know that you were a Democrat at one point. But
I voted Democrat, yes.
Yes, you voted Democratic.
Yes.
But I see why now. Okay, so I'll never forget. I joined it was a Democratic type of event, and I was like, golly, this is so dirty. I had to mention this here. So during my presence there, there was a situation where I was told if I dropped out of the race, because I was so for employees, not just for deputies, not just for DSOs, because DSOs are a part. That's like the meat. That is like the meat for the county. Okay, that is the main course. But I was pushing for the clerks, everybody, literally, because my intentions were to make everybody great. But when someone approached me or approached my manager and said, if you drop out, we will help you get a precinct, I was like, what? Excuse me? I took 2 weeks to get 500 people on my team to try to, I didn't pay anything. Okay. So I was like, wow, you guys really try to do that? And that's when I knew right then and there, it was not for me. That party was not for me. No, I was very appalled. And I was like, no, this is not right. This is not who I want to be. I feel like the people at the moment they were not on the team. They were all for themselves. And I was like, oh no, we need a change. We need a change. That's why, Miss Jackson, we need a change for you, ma'am. I'm telling you, we need a change. Because when someone tells me that I need to drop out of a freaking race, because most people only remember you by your name. And at that time, a lot of Black politicians literally won a lot of races, from judges, from the sheriff, from just a lot, from the Dallas police chief. I mean, it was like, I was appalled. Let's just put it that way. And I could not believe it. But I understood that it happens, but I was like, golly. And I had a conversation with my husband, and he told me he had a question for me. He was like, there will be a time where you will have to do things that people will not want you to do. I mean, that people will want you to do that you would not want to do. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to do that for this party? And I was like, no, I'm not. And that's how I knew right then and there that I needed to change. So I'm very conservative. So I do want to put that out there. I was just appalled about it. Like, seriously, I really was. So I hope and I wish that people are more knowledgeable about all of this. I think it needs to be taught in schools instead of just being worker bees. But it just needs to be. It just needs to be because it's not right. It's not right. I had so many people on my team just to be like, I can't believe this party literally just said this to me. Like, what? And that's how I knew they were dirty. I could not believe it.
That's just the surface.
Anything like that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So for those who don't know, Tarrant County is very cliquey, and I'm not saying Dallas County isn't, but I've experienced a lot of the stain of cliques in Tarrant County. So yeah, that was one of the reasons why I left the Democrat Party, because not only did I vote for Democrats, I was actually helping them on campaigns in Tarrant County. This was before I really paid attention to any policy. I seen Black people running for office. I was like, oh my God, more Obamas. So I got really excited because I didn't know we had Black politicians other than Obama. I was like really ignorant. So when I seen Black men and women actually running for office, I thought that I was like a unicorn. I was so ignorant. So I jumped at the chance to help them, and I voted for some of them, and then stepped back and I paid attention to policy. I was going to city council meetings, county commissioners meetings, and actually paying attention to the movements that they were making. But back to your point, absolutely. And I won't say that the Republican Party doesn't do it. They have their cliques. But when it comes to the Democrats, they go a little bit more extreme. Like he was with me the first time I got booed. I was invited to a Democrat meeting. I was invited to a Democrat meeting, and before I said anything about policy, I made the point that I wasn't a Democrat, and I was going against a highly favored in the community, not with God, a highly favored pastor.
Nettles, correct?
Yes, I don't want to talk about him, but he's very. But running in that race and during meetings like that, getting booed for no reason, running for local races, it kind of opened me up to the corruption in the community locally. And I'm talking about neighborhood associations, nonprofits, pastors, churches. It's a lot of corruption that happens in the community. It's not just the politician. I mean, who keeps the politician in? The 2% of the community that comes out. So not only holding the politician accountable, but also community leaders, and then increasing that voter turnout. Like in that race, only 2% of the people that came out. It was the same amount of people that kept him in office from the race that he ran in unopposed. And if we can not only hold the politicians in the community accountable, but also increase voter turnout and find more precinct chairs and more people to replace the corrupt people in neighborhood associations, then we'll see finally a change. But right now, especially in Fort Worth, it's a lot of old people keeping corrupt politicians in. And I'm not talking about the Republicans or the conservatives. I'm talking about Democrats in the Black community.
Yeah.
And also, Mrs. Jones got a comment as well in the comment section. Like, so we always want to acknowledge those who's rocking with us this morning or this afternoon, of course. Ms. Jones said, I would have voter register cards at the event. We need to start educating the people. Some aren't paying attention. We have to October for registration. Is that correct?
So from what I know, unless the laws change, you have 30 days up into or from the election day. So if the election day is in March, the deadline should be sometime in April or maybe February to go ahead and get registered to vote.
Yeah.
Because you
For
know
the
what?
primaries, at least.
Well, it's awesome that you're doing this, and it's truly a blessing that you're doing this to enlighten us, the listeners, those who are watching us right now, because this is
Mhm.
great information that's being put out there. And we're like the book that I read, we're unlearning to relearn. And I remember Dr. Martin Luther King says that we should not judge people based on the content of their skin, but their character. And I know
Mhm.
when it comes to the Democratic Party, whatever, people go off skin color. They don't go off the character of the individual. We just
Mhm.
base stuff off skin color. Why is that? Why we're not just doing the research, the history, the background on the individuals who want to go for office, have a desire to go for office, instead of basing stuff off skin color?
They feel comfortable. As long as you identify as a Democrat, you will never be held accountable. And if you're black or of color, then that's just bonus points. But people vote straight ticket. People vote for identity politics. People vote for skin color because it makes them feel comfortable. Like I just had a conversation with one of my constituents in West Dallas. Um, I told her that, I'm running as a Republican, I'm conservative, and we talked about the maps. And she was so mad at Trump, but she hadn't seen the current map. Current map is insane. Anybody that sees the first map versus the second map, they understand why the change needed to happen. But she was so fixated on hating Trump that she couldn't see that this was actually good for her community. And I said, well, why or have you ever been to a GOP meeting in this county, in Dallas County? She said, no, why would I was like, do you realize our chairman is black? Not that that matters, but I know that it would make her more comfortable. She was like, no, and that scares me too. I'm like, why? She was like, what can you say, or why do you think it's really important for or beneficial for Trump to be in office for us? I can name a million reasons. That man has been winning since he was sworn in, really before that. But she was so fixated on Trump, we couldn't even identify the reason why she hasn't been to a GOP meeting in her county, and she fixates or she validates her stance or disdain for Republicans based off of what she's heard.
Hmm.
But from what I've heard, the Democrats are the ones fighting for slavery. The Democrats are the ones who founded the KKK. The Democrats are the ones who was running Jim Crow. The Democrats were the reason for the 94 crime bill. The Democrats were the reason why the black man was taken out of the nuclear family. The Democrats have done a lot of destruction in the black community. And her district, her neighborhood has been ran by Democrats on the congressional level, on the county level, and on the city council level. And it's in West Dallas. They experience flooding every time it rains. Crackheads run up and down the street all day doing drugs, and I mean it's just
I
in
do have a question.
complete disarray.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. All right,
Go ahead.
where are you originally from?
Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
So I am a native of West Dallas.
Mhm.
So after you finish, I got a lot to say about West Dallas.
I got, and I have a
Insane.
lot to learn. I have a lot
It's
to
a
learn. So
little
yes.
insane.
Well, my
No, a
mom
lot.
used to stay off of Bickers, so I kind of grew
That's
up
not
in that
true.
area.
Yeah. Well, Bickers isn't what it used to be because of so the development within West Dallas,
Hmm.
if you did if with research, these plants have been there since like the 50s. So they have been wanting to do this transition. There's no freaking way that there is a house that is listed for $600,000 in West Dallas. Okay, $600,000 in West Dallas. Like this is true, 100% true. But I do know because of the commissioner within that area is a Democrat. It's a Democrat. Um, and allow this here to happen. It's not right. because I mean, I used to get letters all the time. I used to go to their meetings. Instead of, and the excuse I received, because I used to like, what is going on? Like, help the community, because these people over here will never be able to afford their taxes. They will never ever be able to afford their taxes. So the city will take their homes, like literally. And I've seen it. 100%. I've seen it. There is there was a super drug, I don't want to say infestation, but a lot of people were on drugs during that, in that area. Bickers isn't what it used to be. It's not. But I do not patronize that area because of that. I do not. My grandmother had like at least 10 rent homes in the area. At least 10. And she made it to where our people were able to afford rent. But, she wasn't on the political issue where it became, oh, this is the reason why I'm doing it. She did it out of the kindness of her heart. And I just feel like if they were able to educate, because they're not educating anybody in that area. They're not educating anybody in the area. But if they were able to educate those people in that area, they would. And I stayed there until I think I left when I was 20. When I started working for the sheriff's department. It's horrible. Like it's horrible. I've witnessed so many situations with the police, and I witnessed, number one, so many tickets from code enforcement. They're trying to move those Black people out of that area versus like teaching them what they should do or things that they could do. That's what they are doing. When you offer people, like if you are selling a home for $600,000 or like $200,000, guess what? $50,000 is going to be great for people who never have had money in their life. But they don't realize that $50,000 doesn't last, especially with a person that does not have money, because they're going to use it. They're going to use it. And then all of a sudden, they do not have a home. The $50,000 is gone. And it's so sad, because it saddens me every time I go through there, because I'm just like, and then they tax them super hard. And all of this have become through, well, the people who are in charge.
Exactly.
These are pushing it. Like, seriously, they are pushing it. And that's why I used to tell my children whenever they voted, like, it was no choice. Like, you're going to go. Whenever, yes, Mom, I was like, you're going to go. When you turn 18, okay, let's go. I pushed them. I said, you're going to vote. Exercise your right to vote, because there were so many people that died for your right. So do it. Give them the respect to do it. I said, if you don't feel like it's a national situation to where you think that your vote count, because I think that is the situation. At least vote locally. Please vote at least think about it locally. But now I realize you can't just think about it locally. You got to think about it all together. And that comes with age and knowing things. But it is what it is, and I hate what it has become. Um, like literally a piece of land that I had out there, they were literally trying to offer me $50,000, knowing that land was well over $200,000 just the land by itself. Yeah. And then when I dug deep into the information, I realized that, oh, wow, this is the plan that was always in works. Like, they literally, like, I'm going to tell you how bold it was. We had a fence around the property, okay? They tore it down. Talking about they needed to do a survey. I said, sir, this is private property. Are you kidding me? This is private property. I didn't ask for a survey. This is private property. So I was super mad. So you're like, oh my God, West Dallas is such a sore spot to me because this was my home. This was my home. And it still is. I don't care what it is. I would push for them for the rest of my life. So, I'm so glad that you mentioned that. I'm super glad that you mentioned that. Yes, I am. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. But you're right. You're right. They won't educate that community. But speaking of education, that library on Singleton that I'm sure you know about, they offer GED classes, but only in Spanish. Only in Spanish. You can't, if you speak English, you cannot go and take a GED class there. And that may seem small, but from what I know, West Dallas used to be predominantly Black. It's no longer that. A lot of the Black community lives off of Vickers in that the Section 8 apartments on both sides. Yeah. And yes, we do have problems with education, but in regards to taxes, Benny Johnson just did an expo of District 30, which is Jasmine Crockett's district. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but me and Jasmine Crockett for right now, we split West Dallas in the original or the original map for District 33. We split West Dallas. Now I have all of West Dallas. But that area is a huge problem. But what's similar between West Dallas and South Dallas, which is still in District 30 in Crockett's district, is the gentrification that's going on in that area. And I use gentrification very lightly because to me, honestly, it's just an ignorance of renovation. In the state of Texas, you don't even need a license to build, but we don't talk about construction or renovation in these high schools when we should. If housing is our biggest expense, shouldn't we introduce that to high schoolers or at least seniors before we put them in front of a four-year degree, putting them into thousands of dollars, 10,000s, hundreds of thousands dollars of debt for a degree that does not guarantee a job. And that the number one thing that I believe that the people in Dallas face are property taxes. And property taxes, Democrats will tell you we need to fund our schools that are failing. So we're forced to pay for the passive ignorance of DISD. And then we have the city council, who I just found out has $1,000 allowance for car notes just to run their district. But when I knock on these doors, I'm the only candidate or these people see in their neighborhoods. So if you're not at least knocking on doors once a year, knowing that city council is a part-time job, why do you need $1,000 a month for a car note? And it's small or medium-sized wasteful spending like that we can utilize and eliminate to eventually eliminate property taxes, not for everybody. I'm not here to look out for investors, even though I am one. I'm here to look out for mom and pop, their homestead. That way we can help them purchase a secondary property to eventually be like your grandmother and have 10 properties. My grandmother didn't have 10 properties. I've seen my grandmother clean 10 properties throughout or more than 10, but I'm trying to make a point. I didn't get anything passed down to me. But for families like yours who are fortunate to take that step outside of home ownership, but also creating passive income with residential rental properties, to force that education on them. Because even if your family was smart enough to purchase a property, a lot of the times that asset is going within 2 generations. Because especially in the Black community, we know very little about financial literacy. And I'm not talking about just the 5 factors of credit. I'm talking about wills and trust funds, finding a way to control what happens to that asset beyond your death. And that's something that we just don't talk about in the Black community.
Yeah, because we want to worry about Jordans and iPhones and all this stuff that brings liability to us, and we're not
Exactly.
educated. I'm
Right.
just gonna go biblical for a moment. He said, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because they rejected," and
Mhm.
that's so true. We are destroyed for lack of knowledge, and what we're doing is we're hurting a generation that's coming behind us
Right.
because of
Right.
our lack of understanding. And we so worry about who bring what to the table instead of worrying about educating ourselves on who's in office, who's in
Right.
our local office, what
Right.
can we do to better ourselves and enhance ourselves, and also pass this knowledge on to the next generation. I heard someone say, we always talk about generational wealth. What about
Mhm.
generational wisdom? What about the wisdom that we're gaining
Mhm.
to pass it on to the next generation? Like I said, I had a conversation with Lo, and I was saying, and I'm just gonna be, and I was saying, I look back. If things I would have took seriously when I was in my 20s,
Mhm.
my 30s, I would just imagine how advanced I would have been. Even though I'm 43 and I'm still a young man, but I'm just saying, just thinking about what we know now, how we could have been more effective back then. I thank God for my parents. I really do. My dad, hardworking man, blue collar guy. Get out there, make stuff happen for yourself, provide. But learning to master or having our money work for us.
Mhm.
I'm learning more about stocks because I have a couple of stocks now. I do stuff in crypto now, but I'm getting to the point in my life where I don't want to work forever,
Mhm.
but I'm to the point where I'm teaching my money how to work for me, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Because in our community, we always been slave to money for so long.
Mhm.
All we want to do is get the bag, chase the bag, chase the bag, but we're putting ourselves more and more in debt. And not only that, our children have to pay for our sins now. Now it's time to reverse all that because our children deserve the best. The scripture
Mhm.
says, we say this all the time, a good man leave a hand for a children. But we got to get to that point. That's just my opinion. That's all. I
I
just want to
agree.
throw that out there.
I
So, yeah,
absolutely agree.
yeah, because this kind of stuff is important. Like I said, we were so closed. We said closed minded, but now we have to be open
Mhm.
minded to new things, open minded to help us grow and help us to evolve. And that's what it's all about. So I said this is awesome thing, and I'm just sitting here soaking all this stuff up, but it's all about involving. You know what I'm saying? Putting egos aside and all about winning. What we got here?
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not able to comment. She was talking, she asked me a question. So Miss Jones asked a question. She said I wasn't aware that hold on, let me see where it was.
right here. Is it right here?
Let me see.
Is that it?
No, it
Oh, right
wasn't.
here. Is it?
No, it was something else. Hold on.
Uh, um,
She said this a lot. Yes, it is. I'm sorry, Miss Jones. It is a lot. It's a lot, and I hate that this is the reason why we talk about it, because a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know. There are things that I talk about with my family, and they have no idea. They have no idea what I'm talking about. They're looking at me like, huh? And I'm just like, well, you know what? Well, let me try to enlighten you. Okay. This is what's happening, you know. And she's so right. She said, read more to have knowledge and empower us. Yes, ma'am, you are absolutely correct. She did not know. So she asked if I was either a Republican or either a Democrat. So I used to say, well, I'm a Democrat, but depending on the situation, you know, I look at the people. I look at what they stand for. I look at what they talk about, and what they are willing to do for everybody. So, you know, and that's what I want. I want that for everybody. She said, don't apologize. I'm sorry. But it is true. It is true. But this is what we need, because we don't know anything about this here. There are a lot of people that do not know anything about this. My husband refused to vote. My husband refused to vote. He said, my vote doesn't matter. And I had this whole conversation with him. I said, your vote matters. Okay, every vote matters. But I'm so glad she said we need more of this, and that she's correct. She is so correct. We need more of this here. Absolutely. And without offending them, I hope I'm not offending anybody. This is just my personal thing. This is how I feel about it. And this does not have any type of this have nothing to do with Miss Jackson. But this is how I feel, because I am a voter. I am a citizen. I believe what I believe in, and I like, oh my God, I just want change. I want change. And I want somebody there to change things for Texas. That's what I want. But she's absolutely correct. We need a lot of this here. We need education. Before people graduate, like you said, Miss Jackson, we need to know everything. We need to know about everything. Yes, ma'am. We need to empower us, because our vote matters. And people don't realize that. Thank you, Miss Jones, for like what you are saying is beautiful. What you are saying is beautiful, because these are the conversations that constituents and that people need to know and people need to hear about. But she did not know. And to piggyback on what I was saying prior, I would say I'm super conservative. Let's just put it that way. Let's put it this way. I'm not a Trump supporter, because I feel like it's just a lot of things I don't agree with. But the things that I've taught, like that Furman has told me about you, and this is really our first time talking, I feel like you can make some changes. And that's the reason why I'm so excited about your run. That is the reason why I'm so excited about your run. And I hope that you make those changes for the state of Texas, because that's what we need. We need that.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You are very more than welcome, but there's no thanks needed. The work is what's important. And I feel like the work is the most important thing. So, ma'am, I know you're going to work hard. So work your butt off.
Thank you.
Work your butt off.
Thank you. You have my word on that.
Okay, good. I do have a question though.
Yes.
So the 10 Commandments within the school. Okay.
Mhm. Yes.
How do you feel about that?
We need that. I am a follower of Christ. I understand that we have the freedom of religion. And I also believe that Texas is we want to make Bible study an elective. I think that that's a great idea. The opposing side has structured their argument that, of course, we have the freedom of religion and we should practice that. But no one's being forced to read the Bible in our public schools, as far as I know. But there's a lot of flaws within our public school system, and some of those flaws are behavior problems. I'm very critical of our independent school districts. I'm very critical of the public education system as a whole, but there's a disconnect between parents and the schools because of behavior issues. Sometimes the teachers aren't able to get the job done. Not saying that they're teaching anything valuable outside of basic math and reading. But I believe that if we put scripture in front of these kids, again, not forcing anything on them, but showing them a different way to life, that is the answer. I mean, again, I'm a child of God. And the book of James definitely changed my life. So if we can influence the kids to have a different outlook on life versus what is being normalized, especially in our music, especially in the Black community, I'm all for that. And you may disagree. I know you're not a hardcore Republican or a Republican at all, but I definitely agree with it. Again, nothing is being forced on these kids, but God was there when we founded this nation, and it's imperative that we keep him um, here with our progress. I mean, if God bless America, God bless our school systems as well.
Let's talk about that. I do believe in the balance. I really do. Because at the end of the day, once our children go to these schools, they have to go back to their environment. And we know a lot of these kids are growing up in toxic environments.
Mhm.
And I've seen teachers who have to wear many hats. They have to wear a hat of a teacher, a parent, you name it.
Right.
What about it has to start at the home base, I do believe. And I ain't gonna
Agreed.
lie, some people should be parents. I'm just sorry. That's just my opinion. Some people should not be parents. Some people not got to be
I
parents.
agree.
They can't even take care of themselves. They can't take care of themselves. How can they take care of a life? But then I also hate that single mothers have to deal with the burden of this as well. And I know a lot of great single mothers who have to take on both roles because you can't force somebody to be there, don't want to be there. Point
Mhm.
blank period. But my
Agreed.
heart goes out to the single mothers, and we got single fathers too. We can't just
Mhm.
scold them because everybody show single mother. We have some good single fathers out there as well,
We
and
do.
they get the backlash as well.
Right.
But I know you mentioned it takes a village.
Mhm.
But really helping out mothers who are single and fathers who are single with the help
Mhm.
because you gotta think about we have to work. It's parents working 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet.
Mhm.
So if they're constantly working all the time, what leads the child? What leads the children?
And I agree. I'm a single mother myself, so I don't want people to take what I'm about to say as like me bashing anyone. Um, Single parents, both single mothers and single fathers, yes, it is a hurdle, and yes, it does take a village. But we also need to address how broken families have been incentivized and it's been normalized, especially in the Black community. Again, I'm not bashing single parents, but if you had a child out of wedlock the first time, what sense does it make to have another child out of wedlock? and another child out of wedlock and another child out of wedlock. And now you have made yourself, not all the time, but the majority of the time, you have made yourself dependent on this system from the government to give you either food stamps or Section 8. And it's a very crippling system. So while I understand that a lot of us, or at least some of us, are single parents and we face different battles, like childcare is one. If you don't have a secondary parent, especially if the father isn't in the home, it's very destructive. And that's where some of these behavior issues in our school system, where they stem from. But we can't just allow it to flourish or happen. We in the community, not the school system. This is not the fault of the government. We have to break a part of the welfare system, and then we need more Black men to stand up and say, "Hey, maybe we shouldn't have unprotected sex. Maybe we shouldn't." And then we also need the women to say, "Okay, maybe my body is a temple, and maybe we shouldn't have premarital sex." Even though it's a good time, what comes from this? And either they have plan A, which is keep the baby, or plan B, no pun intended, get rid of the baby. And both options are dysfunctional if it's not if plan A is not with the nuclear family, and that's just been dismantled because broken families have been incentivized by the government, particularly the Democrat Party. So if we can let go of that and we can stop creating broken homes, I think that would fix a lot of what's wrong, specifically in the Black community.
Yeah, because you do have guys out here, and it may sound controversial. It may not sound controversial, but I have seen this before, and I know it goes around. You have guys who impregnate women on purpose, call themselves to trap them.
Yeah, that happens. It definitely happens on both sides. Um, I won't speak too much on it, but it definitely happens on both sides. But it takes two. I mean, unless we're talking about rape, it definitely takes two. Not to get this video flagged, but it definitely takes two. So it takes the woman saying, "Hey, my body is a temple." And if he's not good enough to be a husband, he's definitely not good enough to be the father of your child. And then vice versa when it comes to our men. Your body is a temple. And if she's not good enough to be your wife, she's not good enough to impregnate. She's not good enough to mother your children. So we just have to have enough morals, not just in a Black community, but the community and society as a whole, to stop being so loose with our bodies, and then look into places like Planned Parenthood, to make people like Margaret Sanger proud. And I really dislike the fact that Democrats have championed this as women's rights, because it's not a woman's right. You still have the same rights as a woman. You just can't abort a baby. Especially a lot of people don't know the process of abortions, especially late term abortions. So if they were to educate themselves with that, the history of Planned Parenthood, and how it's been so destructive in our community, I think we would be more intentional when we scream things like Black Lives Matter, because all lives matter. But when you see the rate of the abortions in the Black community and acknowledge the history, I think it'll change the Black community definitely for the better.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for the better. You know what I'm saying? All about the better, the empowerment, and transforming lives and changing our lives. And that's what it's all
Mhm.
about. And like I said, just have these type of conversation to help all of us to grow and look at life differently, because we looked at life at a certain viewpoint for so long. Now you're being open minded, humble yourself, and say, you know what? Let me look at this view and say, hey, this is very interesting. I never knew that. Because a lot of things I don't know,
Mhm.
but we're learning as we go.
Mhm.
Because we're constantly evolving and being transformed. So we're constantly learning. But this kind of stuff is important. Knowing about the politics, knowing about the laws. Because a lot of people don't know the law. A lot of people don't know the politics. Like I said, a lot of people don't even know our local officials. We don't know who our local officials are. And I know a lot of these things are not appealing to people. We're appealing to entertainment, we're appealing to sports, we're appealing to movies, different things. But when it comes to things that can determine our future or whatever, we don't take it seriously until it affects us. And I kind of hate how in our jail system we seeing more and more jails. Yeah, you saying? Hey, look, can you hear us?
Mhm.
No, it's my Lo, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Okay, all right. But what I was saying, how we seeing more of our young people being incarcerated.
I bring it back to education. If the
Can
kids are failing, they take those test scores and predict how many prisons we need. So I mean, if we look at places like Dallas ISD and Fort Worth ISD, and we see half of the kids can't read on grade level, they know exactly how many prisons to build. Instead of trying to restructure the school system, they just say, okay, that's how many prisons we need, 20 more within the next 20 years. Okay, we got it. So I mean, it goes back to education, and a lot of people want to blame income levels and poverty, but I like to say that I bust right through Maslow's pyramid. I am not a product of my environment, and they don't have to be either. They just have to have the mindset and maybe some headphones. But
you're
yeah.
absolutely correct. Yes, you
All right,
are.
look, go ahead, you time in.
So I only tell this to a few people, but apparently everybody's gonna know now. So I was a young mother. Okay. I had my first child at 16. It was very embarrassing within my family. Okay. But I broke that cycle. I said, I will not have my mother raise my child. I'm not going to do that because I want him to be a part of who I am. I want him to understand the things that happen to him. But there is a definitely difference. I don't know if you know this here, but I've worked at the sheriff's department for over 25 years. Okay. I
Thank
have
you for your service.
Yeah, so I have seen it gone from simple drug charges to, oh my God, everybody is killing and robbing everybody now. And not just the males, but the females as well. There is a definite disproportionate level as far as race. Who gets it? I've witnessed this here. This is something that someone has told me, but this is something that I have seen with my own eyes. This is something that I know. Black males get the highest bonds. They get the highest bonds. That has been that way since I've started. I have never worked at a jail ever in my life. But that is true. They have so many programs for Caucasian males. Within the jail, they do not consider Hispanic males or Latina males as Latina or Hispanic. They consider them white. I ran a program which was a collaboration with Grand Prairie, which taught dogs how to behave and just the whole nine. And at the end, it was they could adopt the dogs, or we can have them adopted by someone else, because in the state of Texas there is no such thing as a kill shelter, right? I'm sorry, there's no such thing. Like, I don't care where you sent them, they're gonna put them down, okay, if they're not adopted. But the people that only qualified were, like, literally were Caucasians, Latinas. It really was. I
Well,
literally only find a few black males to participate, and I tried my best. It was never a situation where I was like, oh, we're gonna have more black people. No, I did not feel that way. I was like, we had 2 white males, we had 2 Hispanic males, we had 2 Asian males, we had 2 black males. Like, that's how I wanted to be. I wanted to be equal.
what was the qualifications for the programs?
I mean, the qualification was this. They had to be minimum or medium. Oh Lord, I can't even get it out.
Medium.
Yes. Inmates. But this is the problem. We're talking about recidivism. We're talking about inmates not coming back to jail. One of the things that I really pushed was their journal, things that they talked about, their mental health, how they felt, because it's so important. They have closed down Timberland, they've closed down these facilities. And I'm so into mental health, because when you're in jail, it really hurts your mental health. But I don't feel, because we have to remember they are innocent prior to being found guilty. And I think people don't realize that. They do not realize that they are innocent prior to be found guilty. Okay. I did try to set up a program, because I was pushed into the situation to where, okay, they don't qualify for this here program. Well, let's try something else. Because I've been there so long, I've literally grown up with so many people. Literally. I started there when I was I was 19 going on 20. Okay, so these are people that I feel like I literally grew up with. So I really felt bad for these people. I'll never forget one time a man told me this here, and he was a felon. Okay, it was for robbery or something. He told me that I did not remember his name at all. I still don't remember his name, but his message was clear as day. He told me, he said, you know what? You're Miss my maiden name. He called me by my maiden name. And that's how I knew he knew me. And I was like, what? Oh, okay. He said, you know what? I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you, because you were the one to tell me that I can do anything that I need. Now he was working in he was working in maintenance and aerospace, like one of these airplanes type of things. And he said, I called my job. They said that I still have my job. As soon as this probation stuff happened and is done, I'm able to go back. It was a technicality. He did not report on time. That's really what it was. And I really felt like, Jesus, I had that much of a profound situation on him. And I was like, I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I should. And that's part of against our policies. So that's why I never did that. And I did. Just so happened that one day I did that. But it can happen no matter who it is, no matter what the situation is. And a lot of people, like my best friend, he was going through a situation where he got into a fight. He took the guy's phone and threw it, and it broke. They charged him with armed robbery. Okay. But because he wanted to get out of there as soon as possible, his mom did not have any money. The attorney that they gave him, I'm so sorry.
There you go. You're fine.
Okay.
All right.
So sorry. I don't know what happened. It just went black. Lord have mercy. So the attorney that they gave him, I know you guys can't see me, but the attorney that they gave him said, you can see me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So the attorney that they gave him said, hey, take the plea deal. Okay. And he took it. He was on probation for 10 years. Okay. Mind you, this man never got in trouble. He was bilingual. He was smart as all outdoors, because I do not deal with people who are not smart, period. Okay. And I'm not trying to say that, but I want to educate other people. But when I tell you that this was my best friend, he really was. He was like a brother to me. And I was like, no, you don't have to do that. But he was like, I had no other choice, Lo. I need to do this here. His mom had no money. And I just started. And I was like, I can't talk to you, right? And I'm so sorry. I can't talk to you because of my job. Because they have policies in place where you can't talk to them or talk to somebody that gotten out of jail for at least 6 months. Okay. So I was like, okay, so for 6 months, I can't talk to you. I was just so sad for him. This dude is super smart, bilingual, never had a problem of. Now, initially, he was able to not find a job because he had why he was in jail. But he was found guilty because of that plea deal. And I was like, oh my God, there's nothing I can do because you've already, you already signed the paperwork. So when I look at situations like that, I look at that. And there's so many more situations where there are people that are innocent. And I just feel like they don't give them a chance. I'm not just saying this here because I've worked there. I'm saying this here because you know what? Hey, I've talked to judges because I'm a network type of person. I've talked to judges. I've talked to so many different people. And so people who have been there, who have way more rights than me, and I felt so bad for him. And there was nothing I can do for him because everything costs money. Everything costs money. So, that's how I feel about it. Yeah. And I felt bad about that. What do you think about that, Miss Jackson?
Well, I can't say what I think about it because I don't know all of the facts and I can't speak intelligently about it. But I do know that it is a reality that one decision or one mistake can cost you years in the system. That is what I can say.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. And it cost him 10 years. You're absolutely right. Yeah. And it cost him, like I said, 10 years. Um, it was just sad. It was just sad.
Man,
I don't know what to say about that
mm,
at this point because you know what? He's doing great. He has got it expunged. Um, he pays taxes. And he was like, "Look, Lo, I can get it expunged, and now I'm doing great." Well, he was doing good as well, anyway. But after the whole, and I told him, "Don't lie about your background, okay? Because they're gonna find out. So don't lie about that." Because I'm a big believer when it comes to jobs, like they're gonna find out. So don't lie about it. But I do know how police officers are when it comes to writing reports, making it seem like, and this is from experience. I've seen it. I've seen it. Um, I there has to be something done when it comes to police officers or sheriff's department officers. You know what? I'm not even gonna say I'm biased against them
mm,
because I kind of am because I feel like a lot of our deputies um, have worked within the jail, so they do know. They do have a certain type of relationship, and they do know how to talk to I well to the perpetrator. Let's just put it like that. Um, but yeah, yeah, they do. I don't know. It is what it is.
yeah, and it's like so much work to be done, but we gonna get there. We gonna get there. You know what I'm saying? We starting
Yeah.
somewhere, and that's the most important thing. We starting somewhere.
I think that Chief Bonner is doing the best that he can. I don't know how long Sheriff Marion Brown will be in office, but I think Chief Bonner is doing well. Um, but he is the chief. Um, I think that he will do what needs to be done. One thing I can say prior to me working um, there were no black deputies. Okay. So that made a difference. And that started with Lupe Valdez and it continued with Sheriff Marion Brown. It did. So, I'm not saying that, oh, look, I'm just all for, our black race, but I am for, you know, being fair to
Yeah,
everybody. So, that's how I feel about that.
yeah. I mean, that's important. You know what I'm saying? It's all about being in righteousness. You know, the Bible says when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. You know,
Yeah.
when you have somebody that's in righteousness, that means okay, when the people rejoice, that means it's gonna be fair across the board. There's not gonna be no respect of person. We should not be respect the person anyway, because that's not biblical at all. We should respect the person. But it's
Yeah.
all about what is that being firm but yet fair,
Yeah.
but also learning, and I'm learning to apply this in my own life. Is about the content of individual's character. Man, know a person's character, and that person's character can determine whether they're good or not. You know, even though we talk about not being unequally yoked, we say that in relationships, they go for business as well. They go for associates. You know what I'm saying? You cannot be unequally yoked. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. I know we're about to agree to leave here, depart from here. We had a great time with you, Peyton. Thank you for taking time
Thank
of your
you,
productive
Miss
schedule.
Jackson.
to be
Thank you
on
for
here.
having me.
Before we get ready to part, Lo, you have anything you want to share? Ask
Oh,
before we get ready to
I
part.
just want to say this here one thing. Miss Jackson, you have a beautiful smile. It's
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you,
And I'm
baby.
so glad that you gave us some insight about education because that is so important. It's so
Thank you.
important, especially when it comes to someone who is running for office. Look, we need people like you, and whether it is Republican or Democratic, we need people who genuinely want to do the best thing. That's what we want. And
Thank
I
you.
honestly feel, because I met you in person, everybody, okay? And I felt such a good energy from you. I felt such a good energy from you. And how you come off as far as passionate. If I was in 10, look, baby, look, that's that southern hospitality. I'm so sorry
Hmm.
for saying that.
Thank
I'm with
you.
you. I'm with
Thank you.
I'm with you because education within politics, it is so important. But I am with you.
Thank
Okay?
you. Thank you
Yes,
so much.
ma'am. And I'll be out there with you. Look, if you need extra help, I'm out there with you.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yes, yes.
And
Because I feel like
awesome.
you got a lot of things to share, and they're not ready for you, but they will be. They will be.
Thank you.
But you know what? It's all about starting somewhere, right? And we know that it's not gonna happen overnight, but it's process. Just keep going and going and going until you see the results. And that's what it's all about, staying consistent. And like I said, Payne, keep up the great work, which I know you are. This is something that you're passionate about. This is something that you love doing, you enjoy doing, and you're making an impact, not just in the state of Texas, but like I said, you've been having major supporters around the world. And that's truly awesome. You know what I'm saying? Because you're doing your thing. And I applaud you for that. Because like I said, not too many people do what you're doing. And I know you mentioned early on the show, you have people who don't agree what you're doing, but that's okay. We talked about this earlier. Even Jesus said you're gonna be persecuted. And they call Jesus Beelzebub. So when you're about your father's business, yeah, it's not popular. Yes, everybody's not gonna agree with you, and it's human nature because we want everybody to rejoice with us and celebrate with us. But then we got haters too,
Yeah.
and you
Oh,
got
yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
you got haters, you got those who spectate, you got those who want to be curious and wants to try to read into things, and I say that loosely, or I do my fingers like that. But you know what you're doing. And that's what it's all about. It's not to be liked, it's not to be popular, it's about doing what's right. And we need more people like you that wants to be in that position of not to be a dictator, but be that bridge to life, if that makes sense on what I'm saying. And go ahead, Lo.
uh, okay. So this is the last question, and I know we are wrapping things up, but I really, 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 really want to ask you this. Okay,
Yes.
because Texas, and I really feel this way when it comes to mental health. What are you planning on doing about that?
I don't have a say so in anything locally. So I have to leave that to Abbott and local officials. But I was cursed enough to work for MHMR for 6 months and I learned a lot. My son also has autism, so I would like to see a lot of changes. But when it comes to mental health, I would like to see people who genuinely need it the most.
Yeah.
And I would like to see a lot of changes within the autism realm. But I have to keep it short because I actually have to run. But thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you. And don't forget when you make it there, ma'am.
I won't.
And awesome. Thank you, Payton. Once again, I know you got to go. Thank you once again for being a part of this. Great work, great things. And like I said, we're about to get ready to depart here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you, Ms. Jones, for your comments as well. We're going to be back soon. Ladies and gentlemen, this is only the second episode, so we'll be here to do a third episode soon. Basically, we're really going to be doing it in person. So that's the next goal is go from virtual to in person. So be on the lookout for that as well. So getting everything set up. So, man, y'all have a great day. Enjoy your day.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Yes,
So we
thank
out
you.
this thing.
Thank
Pay, you have any
you.
words of wisdom you want to leave? Anything you want to say right quick before you leave?
God bless you all.
Oh.
And awesome stuff. So man, y'all be safe. Have a great day. And we out this thing. Peace, everybody.
Peace.